Okay, in this tutorial we are going to go over how to set up Viper to farm Aether. So the first thing we're going to go to is flight options. So click on the plus. Okay, in here, let's start with wait for flight time. Okay, wait for flight time. As you can read down here, it says, do you want to wait for sufficient flight time before moving on to something else? So basically what this is if you get to a node, or the bot picks up a node, and you don't have enough flight time to go all the way up to the node, harvest it, and come back down, if this is set to no, it will just skip that node and keep going and looking for either mobs or other kinds of nodes or something else that you don't have to fly to. If you want to wait for the Aether, you're going to put this to yes, and then the bot will sit there and wait for enough flight time and then fly up and get the node. Okay, so I'm going to set this to no because I'm also going to be fighting mobs, and I don't want it to just sit there and wait for flight time so it can finish harvesting the Aether. Right above that we have minimum flight time, and down here it says the minimum amount of flight time you want to have before trying to fly to do something. Okay, that means that's basically how long it takes you to get from the ground up to the Aether and back down again. So basically I'm going to set this to 40 because if I get on my character and I hit the fly button and I fly up to Aether and then fly straight back down again, I want to have at least 40 seconds. Preferably more than that because I want to have enough time to at least harvest the node once. So a minimum for this is 40 is really good. The default is good. Land flight time. Okay, when you have this much flight time left, your character will land. It's pretty simple. This is how much time it takes you to get all the way from the Aether back down to the ground without dying. You can set this to something lower than this if you don't mind, falling in the air and losing some hit points to try and get, Aether longer. I mean, you might set it to like 6 seconds and then fall halfway down and lose 100 or so hit points. And it's up to you, but the default of 20 will get you all the way back down to the ground 99% of the time. Okay, so moving on. We're going to close the flight options because those are good. Alright, now we're going to look into movement. Okay, in movement, we're going to go down and we see this fly key right here. And this is the key. This is the key you press to start flying. So when I look in my options, you're not going to be able to see this because I have this specific window targeted, but I'm going to look over here in my flying options and go over to key mapping in game, and on the second little box you're going to see fly, and then it has page up, or I set mine to numpad 9. So on my keyboard it's the 9 on the number pad. Okay, and I can't remember if that's the default for all settings or not. I think it is. Okay, so that's set to numpad 9. That's what, when I press that button, my character's going to start flying. It's going to pop his wings out and be flying, hovering just above the ground. Okay, the same thing goes for the land key. Just go back over to your options, look at the land key, and then put whatever's in there right here. Okay? Piece of cake. We don't worry about that. Toggle gliding key because we're not going to be gliding. That doesn't have to do with farming Aether. Okay, now we're going to get into vertical ascent and descent. Okay, vertical ascent is the same thing. Go into your options, what's your ascent key, and put it here. The default is R to go up, and then descent is F to go back down to the ground. So once you start flying, if you press R, your character should fly straight up in the air, and then if you If you press F, your character should fly straight back down to the ground. Okay? That's all for movement. And I think that's all. Oh no, one more thing. In here, go all the way back down, under attacking, all the way down to the bottom where it says Z elevation. Normally this is set to, I think, 10. If you're going to be farming Aether, you're going to want to be able to target the Aether, and the Aether is way up there in the sky. Some of it is, I mean, really high. A good number to start with is 150. You should be able to get, again, 99% of all the nodes with a Z elevation of 150. And the bot will fly up to get it. I mean, it can be as low as, I would say, 20 or 30, but you probably won't get any nodes that way, unless they're just like right off the ground, and I haven't seen any like that. And that's all the options you have to select. Just click Finish, and you'll get profile saved successfully. Just click OK, and start your patrol. Enter whatever the Aether name is, add it as a node, and you're good to go.